Now, of course, we begin with our big story here today. Israel expanding its military offensive against Hamas, potentially preparing for a ground invasion. The death toll from this conflict is rising to the thousands. People on both sides, including 22 Americans in Israel. Now, this as the U.S. ramps up more support for the Jewish state. So joining me now is Democratic Congressman from North Carolina, Kathy Manning. And Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. We're so appreciative of your time. And to list off some of your accolades here, you're the vice-ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, a bipartisan task force for combating anti-Semitism. And Congresswoman, you know, we
just lost the auto.
The Arab nation to join the fight. And I hope that you can hear me as I'm passing this along to you, that we're hearing from this former Hamas chief who's calling for the Arab nation to join in this fight. That's particularly concerning. We just heard the president warn, don't. He said don't when he was talking to other nations about, escalating this conflict.
It is not surprising that Hamas is calling on other terrorist organizations to join it in its malign attack on the only democratic state in that region. And I want to say how proud I was of President Biden and the statement he made yesterday, expressing our strong, unequivocal support for the state of Israel. And I can tell you that the U.S. Congress feels the same way.
And what role does Congress have, and should Congress have, in supporting Israel?
Well, I can tell you that we've already had more than 400 members of Congress sign a resolution in support of the state of Israel. There are bills that have been drafted to ensure that Israel gets the military aid it needs. We know that they're going to need to replenish their Iron Dome missile defense system. They will need more ammunition. There are other things that they will need, and we know that the president, the administration, are working closely with the Israeli government to make sure we know what their needs are. And if the Republicans could stop the chaos and confusion that's going on within their caucus and elect a speaker, we would be able to get back to work and get those resolutions and those bills to the House floor.
Well, as you touch on that, I mean, obviously they're without a speaker right now, but Republican Majority Leader Steve Scalise is now nominated over Trump ally Jim Jordan. You, though, voted to remove McCarthy. So do you see this potentially being settled soon?
It's up to the Republicans to determine who they choose to be their speaker. I know who I want to be my speaker, and that is Hakeem Jeffries. And I can tell you, over the weekend, Hakeem Jeffries put out a beautiful opinion piece that said we are willing to engage in a bipartisan path forward. We are willing to come together with reasonable Republicans and move forward so that we can do for the American people exactly what they elected us to do.
Right, but of course the Republicans have control of the House. Now they're looking to Steve Scalise. We could potentially see a vote here in the coming days. So would you support that?
The Republicans are going to have to choose their speaker. We certainly hope that they can reach the 218 votes that they need. We Democrats have been here ready since they called us back to work last night. We are ready to get back to work for the American people. We hope the Republicans can stop the inter-party fighting and elect their speaker.
And what about the White House? Do you think that the president can work together if we get past this, and the president can work together with Republicans and Democrats on this issue?
I think President Biden has proven that he can work with anybody. We got great legislation passed in the last Congress, and the president was able to work with the former speaker to make sure that the debt ceiling was lifted. He is able to work with whoever is presented to him by this Congress.
All right, Representative Kathy Manning, our thanks to you, and we appreciate your time. I want to now bring